Hey y'all, it's me Riley, and today I'm going to share with you 15 girl boss habits that will help you to become more productive and get more stuff done. So if you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe if you want more content from me. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into the first habit. This is to enrich your brain daily. Do something every single day to help you gain more knowledge, whether it's from a newspaper article, whether it's from Instagram. They have stuff that gives you just daily random facts. You can get it from a podcast, from, I think I already said the news, a book. It's really good to read books over just watching TV and stuff. Anything that will help you to enrich your brain and learn something new so that you can constantly be gaining knowledge and having a new perspective of the world. Hopping right into my next tip, this is tip number 2, and that is to play podcasts over music. I have found this to be really helpful lately. I just have been really into podcasts. Podcasts are really popular. A lot of YouTubers have started podcasts, like Gals on the Go. Kenzie Elizabeth started one. I listen to a lot of political podcasts, self-help, like anxiety stuff to help with all that. I just find that podcasts are so much more entertaining for me. I tend to find that with a lot of people, when they listen to music while they're getting ready in the morning or just doing anything while they're trying to play it in the background, you can tend to let your mind start to wander and you're not really focused. But when you're listening to a podcast, you're obviously listening to what the people are saying, so you're more tuned in and you gain something more from it that you would not otherwise gain from music. So I highly recommend listening to podcasts over music. So this next tip is kind of vague, but it's up to your interpretation. That is to find balance. I know it's way easier said than done, but when you find that balance, when you're constantly working up towards it, and it is a thing that can grow, you're able to find so much more peace in your life and just be a happier, better girl boss. Don't work yourself too hard, but keep your priorities in check and give yourself, be lenient with yourself sometimes. Let yourself stay in one night instead of going out and partying. You have to learn to say no sometimes. If you're constantly going out with friends all the time, you're not taking time for yourself or your work. Or your family. It's just really great to find balance between all of that. Just seek it in your life because it'll truly make your life way better. So a characteristic that a girl boss has is to embrace failure and acknowledge their mistakes as lessons to be learned, and they acknowledge them as opportunities to grow. Life is about learning from your mistakes and embracing those failures, because when you do, your life will be for the better, and you can take that lesson that you learned and apply it to your life and make sure you don't make that same mistake again. So tip number 5 is to follow the 3 C's, and that is to not compare, not complain, and not criticize. This really helps you to keep your eye on the prize, stay focused, not watch what other people are doing, because that's just going to distract you. It keeps your priorities in check once again, and it keeps you effective and productive. 2 things that help me accomplish this is to read my scriptures and take fasts from social media, because it's so easy to be on social media all the time. I mean, it's literally addicting. There's studies, the apps are addicting, but when you get off of them, you can really start focusing on yourself. It stops you from being so negative. And it really just adds a light to your life. So I encourage you to follow the 3 C's, add them to your life, start working towards them, and you will be a girl boss. So number 6 has to do with multitasking. It's often thought to be a productive habit, and people are like, oh, I'm doing all these things, I'm getting all this stuff done, this is helping me be effective, but it's actually prohibiting you from being productive as possible. You end up getting distracted. You really aren't being effective with your time. So instead, I encourage you to try time blocking. It's kind of a new idea, new concept, but I found it to be really helpful. My mom, who's a health coach, uses it so that she can balance work life and home life. I will refer you to another video or resource down below that has to do with time blocking. I highly recommend that you try it out. So if you're one of those gals that works out in the morning, I highly recommend that you follow this concept, and that is to put your workout clothes on first before you put on your robe and go get your cup of coffee or whatever you drink in the morning before you take your pets out for a walk or do anything else. Make sure you put your workout clothes on first, because then you won't have any excuses. You can't just be like, oh, I'm too lazy to put these clothes on. Now you gotta get your butt to the gym. Tip number 8 is really high on my priority list, and that is to watch who you're spending your time with. Watch who your friends are, because those are the people that ultimately influence your life. Jim Rohn, I believe, said that you're the collection of the 5 people you spend most time with. If you're not spending time with that great of people, you know, they have a bigger influence on you than you think. Another thing that I always think about is it's often said is to surround yourself with your goals. So the way I interpret that is you should surround yourself with people who have the same goals or who have already accomplished those goals, and that'll help you to reach your potential and the goals that you're trying to go for. So I highly recommend that you look into who you're spending your time with and kind of analyze your surroundings. And if you need to cut off those unhealthy relationships or move away from them, that's okay, because ultimately it's your life and you need to work towards those goals that you set for yourself. Number 9 is just to take 10 minutes out of your day, just 10 minutes, to tidy up your space, because a clean space is a clean mind. When you clear clutter, you're making space for you and for your goals, for your productivity, for you to get your work done. I really recommend reading this book. It's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I'm not all the way through it, but honestly, it's a really great book. It's about decluttering and organizing and just simplifying your life. It also talks about minimalism, which I think is a great concept. I'll link the book down below. Tip number 10 is to have a GIST day. That stands for get your stuff together or get your crap together. And also set aside a day, so this can be in one day or just 2 days, for self-care. So it's really important to set aside a day to just get all of your procrastinated tasks out of the way. Just get them done, and honestly you'll feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. And then after that, set aside time to just detox, relax, and refresh yourself, because when you really focus on self-care, it's going to really rejuvenate you for the rest of that week, and it's just going to help you get stuff done. So I highly recommend having a GIST day. Tip number 11 is to ball on a budget and stay on top of your money. Set a budget, first of all. Making a budget is very simple. First, you just list your total flow of income, and the time frame on your budget can obviously vary. Also, if you're not providing for yourself, such as me, because I still live with my mom and dad, which is a blessing because I'm not ready to work yet, but if you're not providing for yourself, it's still very good to practice now. So first, like I said, you list your total flow of income. Then you make a list of all the places your money is going to go. So all the fees, all the bills, all that stuff. And then you're going to assess the remainder of that money. So that's going to be basically your spending money. And some people say that's your saving money too, but I think it's really important to set aside your savings when you set aside your bill. As Dave Ramsey says, you should pay yourself first, and there's a lot to that, so I'm going to link a blog post down below that has to do with the benefits of that, of paying yourself first and thinking of savings as a bill. But I think savings are obviously very important, and then I think that managing that remainder of the money, your spending money, is where your focus should be, because otherwise, if you think of it, you just let the rest of that money go, it's going to go to places that are unnecessary. And another point I think is worth making is that it's easy with social media to go through your Instagram and see all this pretty stuff and think, oh, I need that, or oh, I need this thing for the post, I need this for that flat lay if you're like an influencer, I need this, this, and this. So then it's easy for costs to rack up when you're not even thinking it through. Like, obviously it doesn't matter. It's not necessary for you to have that cute sweater for people to see in your Instagram post. So just really make sure that you're watching where the remainder of that money goes, so that you are staying on top of your money and balling on a budget. Tip number 12 is to get enough sleep, because we're constantly reminded to do this, but you know, oftentimes we don't pay attention to the effects of when we have enough sleep and when we don't. But when you really think about that, which I encourage you to do, obviously you're gonna see that you can think so much better. Everything is just more clear. You can obviously be more productive, because that's what this video is about, and it's just really gonna help you get through your day a lot smoother. You're not gonna be lagging at all. And I honestly noticed that when I don't get enough sleep, I think about things in a different way, and it's just all scrambled in my head. So, you know, we hear about it all the time, but really think about the benefits of it and the things that are holding you back because you're not getting enough sleep. So tip number 13, I'm not sure everyone has heard of this, but it's called a brain dump. So before you go to sleep, or before I go to sleep, I have a lot on my mind and I'm constantly thinking, and it can really keep you up. So if you struggle with your mind racing at night, you just find a piece of paper or a notebook or your bullet journal or your planner. Just find a piece of paper wherever and empty everything that's in your mind. Dump what's in your brain. So whether that's a to-do list for the next day, or you're really sad because you just went through a breakup, all your emotions, your feelings, all your anxiety, just let it out onto that paper, and you're gonna be much more calm going to sleep, and it'll be easier to fall asleep because your mind's not like da 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 da. So I highly recommend doing that. It's gonna help you get more sleep, which, as we discussed in the last tip, is very important. Tip number 14 is when you wake up, so now it's morning time after you've done your brain dump, that is to set an intention or a motto for the day. So this is any quote or any little thought that you read in a book or on a blog post. You can hear it in a podcast. So choose one that will motivate you, because that's the point of this. And when you find one that motivates you, it's going to help keep you accountable throughout the day. It's going to keep you focused on that. And you're going to reflect on it throughout the day. And it's just going to help you to obviously be more motivated and productive. So last but certainly not least, this is my favorite one. It's simple yet profound, but that is to make your bed every single morning. Honestly, on my most difficult mornings, and even on ones that aren't even that bad, it just makes me feel so good about myself. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something. It's like a little victory, that's what I call it. And it sets a productive tone for the rest of the day. I watched this motivational speech by Admiral William H. McRaven, and he spoke to UT, University of Texas. He said, make your bed every morning if you want to change the world. And that's really true, because if you're not being productive and working towards your goals, you're not going to be able to change the world. But you can start that by starting with one productive habit, which is making your bed. So those are all the girl boss habits I had for today. I really hope you enjoy. You're a freaking girl boss now. So go out into the world, change the world, make your bed, do all the things I said, or all the things that are girl boss habits, and your life will be way better. So I hope you enjoyed. Once again, make sure to subscribe down below. Go watch my last video. Leave a comment down below if you have any girl boss habits you would like to share, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!